Hi, I'm Paul Schulenburg. This is my studio. I'm here in Eastham on Cape Cod. When I was a little kid, we had a little travel trailer in a lake in upstate New York. And every year for 2 weeks in July, we'd pull the trailer to Dennisport and we'd spend 2 weeks on Cape Cod. And I thought this is like paradise. You know, I loved coming here on vacation. So as I grew up, I'd always want to come back. When I was in Boston University studying painting, I'd come for the summers and wash dishes in restaurants. And when I was able to, I decided to move here full-time. So I've been here since '93. Well, so the painting I'm working on now is, I'm kind of known, primarily for painting fishermen. I mean, I seem to have developed a reputation for that. When I first got back into oil painting, after many years away from it, I was traveling around the Cape looking for inspiration, and it was early spring, and it was kind of gray still, and I happened to do it on the fish pier, which I remember from being down there as a kid. And I liked looking down on the boats and the colors that the fishermen were wearing and all the activity. And so I did a painting or two of the fishermen just for fun, not knowing where that might lead. And people seemed to like it. And it was a fun subject matter to pursue. And so I've been doing that ever since. This one was a compilation. I'll go down there and take hundreds of photos and several days at a time. And I'll have, I have thousands of photos down there. So I had to compose this situation where the fishermen are looking down the water, and then I have these seals coming back. That's actually something you see quite often. The seals will be swimming around the boats, looking at the fishermen for to hand off treats, or when they're washing the boat out, little things like wash out the back of the boat. And so it's a pretty common scene. And I like the idea that the fishermen are out there looking for fish. The seals are doing the same thing, so that they're these two companions, and these two are here. Having kind of a face-off. They're sort of in the same business, and they're at odds with each other, but then they have to get along too, so. When I first started painting on the Cape, the Cape is a very horizontal landscape. We don't have mountains here. We've got some dunes, but it's pretty much, pretty horizontal. When I got to the fish pier, I was really turned on by this dynamics of looking down into the boat, the architecture and the availability of these kinds of diagonal lines, and compositionally, how I can put something together that's kind of interesting, other than just your typical landscape. So to me, this says Cape Cod, just like a Cape Cod landscape painting, but it's just a different part of Cape Cod that not everybody is familiar with. So this man is just sitting on this bin. This would normally hold fish, and this is more fish in buckets of ice. He's partially obscured or in the shadows of the boat and the pier that's above him. So they just get this dynamic spots of bright light hitting his orange oilskins and just certain parts. Some of my favorite paintings are of just the light and the shadow down there of the people on the boats. I noticed this young woman working on one of the boats, which was kind of unusual. You usually see lots of men, usually young men, unloading the fish, but occasionally there'll be a young woman working with them. And I did another painting of her actually in the back of the boat. The boat is moving, and she's like looking more active, like coming into the pier. I have a variety of things. I feel like every day I'll just paint whatever strikes my mood that day. So I don't pigeonhole myself into just one subject matter. So I do a variety of things.